Blitz Esports releases new videos every week. Subscribe and hit the bell so you don't miss out.
Oh, okay, gold funneling, I hate saying the word funnel so much, but like basically you're just putting all your money into one player, and that player usually is your quote-unquote jungler.
Haha, check this out.
It's the person who runs around with smite and farms the jungle camps, but also picks up mid. So instead of a mid laner, you have a support, and instead of a traditional jungler like you'd see Sejuani and Gragas and Lee Sin, you usually have a hard carry like Master Yi or Kai'Sa, and you can even do it with like Lucian. You've seen it with Karthus, and like Master Yi is probably the most prevalent, like the first one. So like this player, I guess, the person who's the Dota reference is like the one position, the one who gets the most resources. This player starts on a jungle camp, farms like part of the jungle, goes mid, collects the big wave that's kind of been slow pushed by the enemy mid laner, goes to the other side of the jungle, farms that. Like the enemy jungler, by the way, this entire time can't do anything because the enemy jungler will never ever be able to fight a mid laner that is dedicated to roaming versus your mid laner. He must stay in lane because he doesn't have smite or the jungling item. So you're basically just conceding every single scuttle crab. You're trying to pick up the scraps of what like this player is like doing, and at a certain point they just get so snowballed in XP and gold that there's absolutely zero interaction with them whatsoever. Like wherever they go, you have to go away. You have to run away. So like the win condition for it is basically it's obviously has to be a really broken combo between this kind of like support and jungle mid laner, whatever. So you see a lot of like Nunu Karthus, which is kind of like cheese, but the original was like Taric Master Yi, where Master Yi and Taric both pop their ultis, they go on one person. Taric uses stun, Master Yi uses Q at the exact same time. There's absolutely no way you can dodge it because of the way Taric's stun interacts with Master Yi's Q. You get stunned, you get chilling smited. Master Yi can't be slowed, he can't take damage because of his ulti and Taric's ulti, and they just kill you. And then the more items Master Yi gets, the more unstoppable the strategy becomes. Then it just became like stuff like Braum and Kai'Sa, and like basically really similar strategy. If Braum hits his Q, Kai'Sa will just completely melt you from 100 to 0. What? And that's because this is a player on the enemy team that's farming mid lane and jungle both. So you're super snowballed, and you have challenging smite or whatever. Red smite makes you impossible to play like or 1v1, I guess, if you're not also a jungler. So yeah, that's the strategy, and it's taking over pretty much every region right now, and it's really boring to watch. Papa Smithy actually had a really great metaphor for it, which was Miracle Rogue in Hearthstone. I don't know if anyone's familiar, but like basically Hearthstone's a card game, and Miracle Rogue is a deck where your win condition is completely like I would say separate from your opponent's win condition. It's not about board control. It's not about like traditional kind of like, you know, just like play this card and like you'll do some damage. It's once you get your win condition, you won the game. And that's exactly what gold funneling is. It's not interactive with the enemy team in any way. Basically, the entire point of gold funneling is to interact with the enemy team as little as possible and to just put all of your resources into a champion that can hard carry. And I feel like it's not fun to watch, it's not fun to play, and it's especially not fun to play against. It's not something that like I think solo queue players really have to deal with too much because it requires like some level of execution. But I really hate the idea that like when you play against gold funneling strats in competitive, if you do nothing, like usually cheese strategies are proactive. This is a cheese strategy that is completely like reactive. The only thing that you have to do is not lose before you like essentially get like the cards you need, like get all the things set up that you need, and then you will 100% win. Yeah, so like gold funneling right now, it's starting to become more and more apparent that like it might be just like the best strategy. It might be just like by default better to do gold funneling than to do traditional lanes, because just the way that the game is right now, it's better to have all of your money onto like one person and two supports, rather than to have money spread out between 2 to 3 players and to have one support. And like there's a lot of reasons why, and like it's all very kind of like it compounds on each other and stuff, but like I don't think there's like a real counter other than you must beat the gold funneling strategy before they reach their win condition. And I think that is really just like why is that in the game?
We release new content every single week, so subscribe and hit the bell so you don't miss out.